Okay, I'm gonna let everybody in. It looks like we are live, so we'll let everybody into the meeting and then we'll welcome everyone. Make sure everybody's connected okay. Looks like everybody's connecting or they're getting connected. Their audios. Okay. Well, I'm going to get started here, Mike. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us at this webinar this morning. We are broadcasting live to YouTube, so we'll be able to watch this later. On behalf of the Wyoming County Chamber of Commerce, we appreciate you tuning in, and we'll be able to share this to anyone that wants it afterwards, which is great. I'm pleased to have with us today Michael Messerly, the Corporate Digital Director and Group Publisher at Downtown Digital Group. He's also the publisher of the Batavia Daily News. So if you don't know him from one, you probably know him from the other. And we'll get to hear a little bit more from him today. And he's going to talk about sort of four areas and probably more about how the world is changing and how it's changed very, very quickly and what we should be thinking about in our marketing. So with that, and I'm going to turn the screen over to Michael when he starts. I'm going to turn it over to him and we'll get going here. Michael.
Thank you, Scott. Hello, everyone. Good morning. And by the way, I'm not on a sailboat.
Here we go.
This is just the background my wife put up. And of course, now whenever you're doing Zoom meetings.
I don't think we have any audio on you, Mike. We can't. I can see you, but I can't hear you.
Okay. Well, I'm not muted.
I can hear him.
You can hear me?
You can. Okay, so some people can hear him.
One person heard my awful joke about being on a sailboat with these curtains behind me. But the whole idea, I think, is now everybody's doing these Zoom meetings like Dr. Fauci and a few other government people yesterday. And of course, what does he get for becoming available?
Okay, great. Looks like people can hear you, so I'll just let it go.
Everybody judges his home. So for me, you get curtains. So I'm just, Scott's okay with you. I'm just going to go ahead. I think some people, most people can hear me. I certainly hope so. So the make or break of now. Consumers want what they want when they want it, and they want it and now expect it now is kind of the theme of our discussion today. As we've just kind of entered this whole new world that none of us expected, none of us predicted, none of us knew this was coming, but here we are. So first, let me start off with introductions. Again, I'm Michael Messerly. I have one of many titles, as you can see there, Chief Revenue Officer, Corporate Digital Director, Group Publisher for Downtown Digital Group. I have a background, almost all of this is in digital, but certainly in the fields of radio, television, print, but again, primarily digital ever since the late 90s. Obviously, I was doing quite a bit in the 90s to have all that experience. Specialize in developing marketing campaigns targeted to audiences and not products, where basically a lot of people are buying products. You know, we focus on the audience. The product is pretty much irrelevant if you're not reaching the right audience with it. So what's the Downtown Digital Group? Downtown Digital Group is an advertising agency with the power of media, of a media company behind it. So no big shocker here. We also own media properties throughout the state of New York. The agency is a branded part of our advertising department. So why didn't we just keep with our brand names that we have as far as media companies that we own? A lot of it had to do with when we would call and we'd identify ourselves by our, let's say, our media brand name. A lot of times we get hung up on. But as soon as we changed the script, call ourselves Downtown Digital Group, suddenly we started having conversations. We have a digital suite of solutions from search, social, mobile, video, audio, digital display, native, targeted email, on and on and on and on. I could go on, but we don't have that much time. And of course, we work also with traditional media, which is print, magazines, direct mail, audio, and video. You may notice there's an asterisk there when it comes to audio and video. We'll be getting to that very soon here. And I'm just going to carry on. You probably see on my screen all my slides. That's just so I know exactly what's coming up for me. Agenda, I'll get through this really quickly here. What is the significance of 66 days and how that affects your business? How have consumer habits of media consumption and buying habits changed? What are the new and now permanent expectations of consumers? What changes must a business make to meet the new demands of consumers? And we will present just a few solutions that we have available now. I promise I won't take much time on that at all. This is very much for the purpose of education and advisement than it is selling. I'm not interested in selling you all anything, but we do have solutions that exist for a number of the problems that I bring up, or at least let's not call them problems, let's call them challenges. So let's start with the importance of 66 days. So Governor Cuomo closed all non-essential businesses on March 22nd at 8 p.m. So I'm not even going to count that day because it happened at 8 p.m. Almost all businesses are closed on a Sunday at 8 p.m. So I start my countdown starting on March 23rd. So through the end of the month, March 23rd, that's 9 days. Obviously, the pause order went through the month of April. That's another 30 days. And then the pause order is going to be ending this Friday for phase 1 businesses reopening. That is primarily construction and manufacturing. That is retail with curbside service. And if memory is serving me correctly, drive-in theaters, which I think is fantastic. 2 weeks later, on May 29th, phase 2 businesses, and here's, I underlined it, may be allowed to reopen. Doesn't mean they're going to reopen. That's purely under the purview of the governor, but they may reopen by May 29th. Obviously, in the business we're in, we're very much looking forward to those dates. So I think what's important here is that by May 29th, 68 days will have passed since we started the pause order. So I'm referring to 66 days, 68 days have passed. What am I referring to here? Well, it's this. On average, it takes more than 2 months before a new behavior becomes automatic. And actually, it's 66 days to be exact. Now, that's an average. That's the exact average. So it could be sooner, it could be later, but the average is 66 days. So what are we talking about right here in 66 days? What has happened? Well, what we're talking about is certainly consumers' habits and how they purchase goods and services, how they research. Everything about doing business now has changed for the last 68 days by the time we reach May 29th. So a lot of behaviors, and we track them all online, have now become habits, have now become automatic, have now become a way of life. This is a direct challenge to your business. There's no other way to put that. So, you know, I'm not here to say it's doom and gloom, and it's not all doom and gloom, certainly not, but you just need to be aware some dramatic changes over the last 68 days as of May 29th will have taken place. And so as a business, you have to look to address that. So changing consumer habits, the critical question becomes, so what behaviors have now become habits? Well, buying consumer goods, newsflash, spoiler alert, has largely gone online. Well, this isn't new news. You know, a lot of purchasing in business, commerce is being done online. That's not a newsflash, but it's now more prevalent than ever. A survey of more than 23,000 online retailers found that the average revenue increase for their business is 65% year over year. Now, here's the here's kind of the alarming part is that's just through March. That doesn't account through April, which I think April was a more critical month than even March was in this pandemic. Home goods are up 220%, clothing up between 50 and 60%. That's a massive increase in spending. Now, again, I'm not saying it's a surprise. We should expect that. People were not able to leave their homes, or if they could leave their homes, there was nowhere for them to go necessarily to be doing commerce. But again, 68 days, 66 days, this becomes more of an ingrained of a habit. There's the threat. Now, locally in the Glow region, consumers have dramatically changed their behaviors in, 3 areas really stood out to us. Number one, and it's off the charts, are financial services. So banking, investment, taxes. We have not ever seen activity for the financial services as high as it is. In fact, it tops every other online buying behavior that exists, and it is off the charts. It is typically, I'd say typically in our top 20. This now is number 1. So people are very much looking to make changes, and opportunity exists here when it comes to banking, investments, and taxes. People are also choosing to learn to cook at home. So, what we're finding is people are more and more trying to find out information and changing their behaviors, as they're not going to go out to eat as much. Instead of ordering takeout or delivery, they're making the choice to learn how to cook. So it's kind of like virtual home economics for those of us who were in high school back in the day when home economics was a class you had to take. Now it's happening through YouTube. So there presents kind of a threat then to restaurants, because people are getting used to, finding, wow, all these pots and pans and little kitchen gadgets, I can actually make them work. So that's a threat to any food industry. For the service industry, DIYers are more prevalent. They're learning to repair their own problems, or they're just going to go out, order it, buy it new. So if you're in the service industry and all this information is available on YouTube, what you have are people who are do-it-yourselfers are looking to do more and more of doing it themselves. So that presents a challenge if you're in the service industry. So how do we know this? How am I able just to spout out all this information? Well, at the Downtown Digital Group, all online behaviors are tracked in real time. And then what we do is we harvest that information from where it is cultivated. And then that gives us a real-time snapshot of what local consumers, what their lifestyle and buying habits are. And we've definitely seen some definite changes. We track 117 lifestyle habits and 503 buying habits. And we track this and know this for what's happening locally. So when I'm telling you there's a lot happening in financial services locally, impact for the restaurant business, impact for the service industry, this comes from basically a survey of over 300,000 people, an overwhelming majority of them local, that gives us this information. So we know at all times what's happening in the local market. And so what does that tell us? And you're going to hear this over and over from me again. Consumers want what they want when they want it, and when they want it is now. Make no mistake about that. That is the big change that's happened, is I think you're going to find consumers are less patient than they ever have been before. They just want to get to business. They just want to have the transaction happening. And really through online, they're getting those opportunities. So let's go ahead and let's jump to media consumption. Because obviously you all are going to want to know, you're going to want people to know you're open, you're doing business. Don't assume people know that you're going to be opening, because a lot of what they're hearing out there through various sources is businesses are closing, businesses are going under. Don't make the assumption everybody knows your business is A-okay. You got to be out there, you got to be in front of people, letting them know what's happening. Amongst media consumption, it's been really interesting. The move away from traditional TV and radio has accelerated in breakneck speed. The number of cable and satellite subscriptions have dropped 70% in comparison to last year. There are now as many non-subscribers of pay TV, so cable and satellite, as there were subscribers in 1988. So the people, as it's called, cord cutting, are cutting a lot of cords around the country and locally. Netflix in the first quarter, and again, the important thing to keep in mind here, this is just the first quarter, is only including March, it's not yet including April, added 16 million more subscribers. Other growing video streaming services include Hulu, YouTube TV, which I personally use, and Disney Plus. Another very interesting statistic, 80% of people retain their streaming service after the initial free period expires. So you get the 7-day, the 2-week, the 1 month, try it out for free. 80% of those people who are doing that then sign up for the service. So that is a major shift going from what was, broadcast, cable, satellite TV, more to streaming. The other point, now I'll skip on that. So not only is this a challenge when it comes to video, it's also for radio. People are much more working from home. I can tell you, I did travel this weekend. I traveled from here in Western New York out into Indiana. So on my way, drove through Cleveland in my motorhome, drove through Cleveland right at rush hour. And I was like, oh man, I didn't time out this very well. But I have to tell you, I've driven through Cleveland many times on my way out to Indiana. And it was like it was Friday, rush hour, and it might as well have been Sunday afternoon. There were not a lot of cars out there. I got through Cleveland in no time at all, even during rush hour. A lot of people are working from home. That's a real challenge for radio. But what it's created is through smart speakers in homes or digital assistants on phones and tablets, consumers are discovering, if they haven't already, brands such as Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Music. 60% of people are consuming more entertainment. When you are in the news business, I say it all the time, people would rather be entertained than informed. So this does not surprise me, although certainly all consumption of media, including news, has also gone up. I would say news is probably up about 50%, a little bit under entertainment. 25% of people have added a new streaming service, and 38% have added a new audio subscription service. So again, that could be Spotify, it could be Pandora, it could be Amazon Music, Apple Music. There's a lot of choices out there. For those with an affinity for local radio stations, consumers are using their same devices that we've talked about, the smart speakers and everything else, to tune into local radio streaming channels instead of over the air. So, you like your local channel, you want to continue to listen to your local channel. If they have a streaming channel, more people are tuning into that than going to 98 point blank, whatever FM, whatever it may be. They're instead choosing to listen on their laptops, listen on their phones, their smart speakers, whatever else. iHeartMedia, which is the largest radio media company in the country, from February to March, just in 1 month's time, their listening increased to their streaming channels 43% on the web, 35% on smart TVs, 28% on game consoles, 18% on Siri. So again, iHeartMedia and a lot of other radio companies are putting their content up in streaming and having people listen to it there. There is a fantastic opportunity for you. We'll get to that in a moment. But again, the overall thing that's happening here is there's a major shift. It's been happening anyway, but it is really seismic change here, that people are making their choices to consume video, consume audio through streaming. There's no question about it. And even broadcast companies will tell you the exact same thing. That's why they're investing so much into it. And what's the big takeaway when it comes to media consumption? The same thing as it is when it comes to shopping. Consumers want what they want when they want it, and they want it now. So, if I want to listen to the Beatles for the next 2 hours, I tell Alexa I want to listen to the Beatles. If I want to catch, old episodes of I Love Lucy. If I want to catch something, you know, the most recent Saturday Night Live, it's going to be done when I want to watch it. And with streaming, of course, with Netflix, a lot of the series come out, all the episodes come out at once. I'll watch however many episodes I want to watch. I can watch the whole season. I can watch 3 episodes at a block, whatever it is. But the whole point here is I'm in complete control of my own media consumption. I own that now. So, you know, I don't have to wait on the playlist that the DJ creates or the music director at a radio station. I can go on Spotify. I can create any type of playlist I want, or I can go to Spotify and listen to playlists that they've created depending on my mood. There's even a playlist. They said one of their highest, fastest growing playlists have to do with people cooking in the kitchen. That's just the point that I made earlier about changing behaviors. So now, on top of the changing behavior of people cooking more often in their kitchens, now they have a theme music to go along with it. What people are doing, but again, consumers want what they want when they want it, and they want it now, and they're not going to wait. And online has trained them for that because they've been buying stuff. It's the instant gratification. Their entertainment consumption is that. I watch what I want when I watch it, wherever I want, however I want. I can watch it on my phone. I can watch it on my TV. It doesn't matter. I'm in control. So what's a local business to do? Again, for the buying habits, consumers have become entrenched in buying goods and services through an online marketplace. Consumers are spending more time online than ever before due to the at-home orders. And consumers have become used to the instant gratification of doing business online. I want that, I see that, I can buy it now, it's done. Media consumption, consumers have shifted their attention away from entertainment found on traditional TV and radio. I mean, this actually couldn't have happened at a worse time for television because their seasons, their traditional seasons were over. They were in rerun time. This is a great time for live sports. You got March Madness, you have the end of football, you have baseball kicking off. All those are gone. They have no original programming to put up. They have no live programming to put up unless Garth Brooks and his wife, Trisha Yearwood, do another music special. Okay, that's what they've got for live. They're stuck. Video consumption has increased due to on-demand shows and movies. Streaming networks are also producing new programming. So if you've got Netflix and you're a fan of a show like Dead to Me, which just launched on Friday, that's new programming. You don't have to wait for the fall season to come along. It's already there and waiting for you. Smart devices in the homes and on phones and tablets have moved the music listener away from radios into Alexa and Siri. Again, it's all about control. So what's a local business to do? There's a lot of things you're going to have to do, need to do. I've basically got it cornered down. These are like, for me, I think my 3 big suggestions. I don't know that you're going to like them all. Number 1, you're going to have to expand your business. So what do I mean by expand the business? Well, there are 2 points here. Number 1, this is me just finding clip art somewhere, so I apologize. It's not looking all that professional. I do the best I can do. So there's your storefront. And a lot of times, I think a lot of people, I will ask them because I'm always curious. You know, so what are your store hours? And answers I'll give is, well, we're open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. We're open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We're open from 9 to 9, whatever it is. There are these set hours. This is when we're open. You're going to have to change that mentality. The mentality now that's going to have to happen is your business is open 24 hours. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Now, what that means is you can keep your traditional hours, whatever they may be, at your storefront, but you're being shopped at all times. The shopping has never stopped. You're being researched, you're being shopped, mostly research, but you know, it's no different than window shopping. This is happening at all times. So, you know, you've got to have a solution, your website and your Facebook page. And a lot of times I think people got both because they thought, quote unquote, well, I knew I had to have one. I knew I had to have a website. I knew I had to have a page. The expansion of your business is number one in your hours, number two in your space. And by this point, I mean, you need to think of your website and your Facebook page as additions you've added on to your physical building. Because just like they walk in through the front door into your business, this is another doorway into your business, which is your website. This is another doorway into your business, which is the Facebook page. Your mentality has to be, whatever is happening in my store has also got to be happening because more and more people are now going to be shopping you that way. They're going to be going to your website, going to your Facebook page. The expectation is that, you know, my experience on those two platforms should be the same experience as what happens at the store. You've got to change your mentality that my business is not just 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm 24 hours a day. And so it doesn't really matter, but there are now 3 different areas in which people can enter my business. So that's the number one big change. Number two, number one's actually easier than number two. Number two, you need 24-hour customer service. So most people, when they shop by doing a search. I want a product, I want a service, I'm going to look for it, and Google's going to tell me who has it available. Better yet, Google's going to tell me who has it available locally close to me, because that's what I'm looking for. So they first start by shopping. I'm just trying to admit someone here. Shopping through Google. Then the next step needs to become engage with live customer service on the website. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So once we've engaged with customer service here on the website, the expectation becomes completing the buying experience at the physical store. So we will get into number two here in a little bit, but the new expectation is when I go to a lot of different sites, I'm having an interaction with that site. Doesn't necessarily mean it has to be set up for e-commerce. Doesn't have to be that, but I have to be getting information, sharing information, and getting information back from you about what the business I'm looking to do with your business. From a retail perspective, and it doesn't matter. This could be, you know, goods and service industry, doesn't matter, retail or service industry. But the expectation is when I come to you, I have the ability to immediately start the buying process right away. Doesn't mean I have to buy it right then, but at least the process has started. Now the expectation is going to be more and more is on number three, complete the buying experience. If I'm interacting with you customer service wise, 24 hours, it could be 3 a.m. I'll get to that here in a moment. Again, let's go back to what I've been saying. Consumers want what they want when they want it, and they want it now. However, they're willing to understand, I need to go somewhere to pick up. I need to go to your business there to pick it up. Perfectly okay with that. I have no problem with that. But here's what had better happen. You'd better have it ready to go. If I show up and I've done all this interaction with you, whether it be through instant messaging, phone, or whatever, when I show up, my expectation is you're handing me what I've purchased or what I'm about to purchase. It's ready to go, because that's the new expectation. I can tell you in this time of the pandemic, I've been doing a lot of work on my house with whatever. What else did I have to do? I've been working a lot on my motorhome. I can tell you that a lot of businesses do not have that functionally working very well right now. So I've had the interaction. I'm all ready to go. I've done step number two just perfectly. But when I get to the store, it all falls apart. They're not ready. I've got stock people looking at each other, palms going up to the ceiling, and it's taken a while for them to find what I've already talked to them about having. If I'm showing up, I expect for it to be done. But the bigger point here is number two. You've got to be available to your potential customers at all times. Doesn't mean you have to be available, but your business has to be available to be conducting business question, providing information. And that doesn't just mean having a web page. Number 3, and I've thought this for some time, and I've worked on this slide quite a bit, trying to figure out how to really explain it. You need to create an experience, not a transaction. Okay, we are in a much different world now, especially with social media. Anybody can sing your praises and can absolutely trash you all at the same time. The whole idea here is anybody can pretty much buy. I can't have an experience just anywhere. This really goes more toward, I think, retail than it does service industry, but it applies to service industry as well. An advantage a local business does have over an online business is personal interaction. While there's certainly instant gratification in buying the product online, what I get what I want when I want it, and I want it now, and I get to do it, but it is only half-baked. The reason why is I still got to wait. The online consumer has to wait for delivery. So that may not bother me so much either, but because it's delivery, I got to worry about it and hope it's not stolen, rained on, snowed on, damaged. Because I don't know. It's got to be there when I show up. If I go to your business, I know it's there. The responsibility is me to haul it, drop it on the pavement. If the pandemic has proven anything, it's proven what I've said for a while. Shopping for goods or services are a social experience. People are dying to get out of their homes and do something. What are they going to go do? They're going to go out shopping. Doesn't mean they're going to buy anything, but it certainly means they're going to be out. They're going to be out amongst people, kind of keeping their distances, but still, they just want to be out and they want to be around people. And shopping provides that opportunity. I think that for a while, I think the opportunities are not going to be what they were. My prediction, if you look at some of the other states that have opened up in other places, there have been surge of business, and then the business very quickly goes away because people just want to get out. All right, I'm out. I got that moment. Okay, but now I'm back to worrying again. Now I got to worry about myself economically and everything else. So I got out, but now I got to go back to being cautious again. So when the opportunity comes and somebody's coming into your business, and I can't tell you how often I have this experience, oftentimes I go into business, I'm not acknowledged at all. That's just the truth. Or if I am acknowledged, it's, hi, is there anything I can help you find? No, not, okay, that's fine. And then I'm never spoken to again. They're not paying attention to what I'm doing inside of their business, what I may be looking at. They're not paying attention to my behaviors. So it's important to start treating consumers as guests and not just a customer. You got to create an experience that I want to talk about, because people are a whole bunch of talkers right now, and they'll talk all over social media about your business. Hire salespeople, not service people, because when someone's in your store and they're making a purchase, you've got to maximize every transaction. You can't do that with a service person, okay? A service person is, oh, find everything you're looking for. That's not selling. That's a question. I don't want a question. I want somebody trying to sell something. So you come up and you're buying something. What other things can go with that? Do you have batteries for that? Whatever the case may be. Did you know we have this that goes with that? Whatever the case may be, you should be trying to be selling at all times. Doesn't have to be you're obnoxious about it. But, did you find everything you're looking for? Is not a sales pitch. Okay, that's a service pitch. To maximize every transaction, you have to be looking for those opportunities to build on the order. Any decent restaurant server knows to make money, you got to build that ticket. So it starts with appetizer, starts with a lot of drinks, the dinner, and I know you're full right now, but on the dessert, how about I make it to go? That's building the ticket, and that's sales. The server who takes your order, brings you your food, and then brings you your receipt or your ticket, that's service. That does your business no good. So you need to think about that as I need people who are selling, not people who are serving. Anybody can, basically, you go to a lot of grocery stores. I can serve myself. I can pick up all the products I want to do. I can go to the cash register, beep, and beep, 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 check myself out without dealing with anybody. Okay. But that, service is It's important, but sales are more important. Okay, so think of your business like an ethnic restaurant. I got to tell you, I wrestled with this for about 30 minutes putting this presentation together because I'm like, what am I talking about? Think of your business like an ethnic restaurant. I'm not saying all the time, okay? I'm not saying at all, but I think you need to take a snapshot of your business. One great thing about an ethnic restaurant, it doesn't matter, Chinese, Italian, Greek, you name the ethnicity, okay? You always know when you're in one. You always know the ethnicity of the restaurant, okay? It's from the menu, the decoration, the plates, the table, everything about an ethnic restaurant pushes the fact that we're serving this type of food. This is the type of restaurant that we are, okay? The whole idea that they want to push is that they're authentic to the ethnicity of the business. They're authentic to it. The theming, everything about it's appropriate. The signage is consistent. The music is unique to the business. It's organized, it's clean, it's up to date. That if you've got a special in the paper, a coupon running anywhere, you know, it helps to see that it shows up when I walk in and there's some sort of signage, A, promoting it, but B, reassuring me that, yeah, my coupon is good here. Because believe it or not, we've had experiences where we've had coupons and people have come in with the coupons and the owner or general manager didn't communicate with the staff about the coupon. That's a terrible customer experience, but they honestly do happen. But, you know, I'm not saying that you've got to be like every Mexican restaurant and everything else, but the whole idea is the consistency throughout your business is just the consistency. I kind of stumbled into that. But you want your business to be true to what it is, okay? And everything about it, the aesthetics, everything about it, including the music that you have. You don't have to just go with the local radio station. You can go on to Spotify, create your own playlist that you think speaks to the type of business you have, and pipe that music out throughout your business. That makes a heck of a lot more sense than possibly having commercials of your competition playing through your speaker system. Or, you know, if I'm in an auto parts store, I don't necessarily want to be hearing Neil Diamond. Nothing against Neil Diamond, but I don't think that really fits with the environment that I'm in. So this is something that you actually have to be thinking about because you want, again, you're creating an experience, not just a transaction. And then all of this really wraps up to give them something to write about. They're going to write about you on social media. They're going to leave you a review. So, you know, the best chance to get the results you want in both of those categories is create an experience that's a very positive experience with your business. Not just I came in, I got what I wanted. They asked me if I had everything I was looking for, and I walked out. No one's going to write about that. That's not going to do you any favors, okay? For service industry, this is such a pet peeve of mine because it's such a simple thing, and I don't quite get it. I call it B and A because I ran out of room. But let's say you're a roofer, you do patios, you do fencing. I'm just looking outside my windows here. You know, body shop, whatever the case may be. This almost never fails. That the imagery they put out about their business is always the after. Look how beautiful the roof looks. Look how beautiful we made the backyard look. Look how we customized this car. And that's great, but it's not as good as knowing what it looked like before you started your work. I rarely see a service industry do that. They will always show you the work they've done, but not what they improved. The better promotion is going to be, this is what it looked like before we got started. This is what it looked like when we were done. That's much more effective than it's going to be just showing me everything that's done. What do I compare that to? I don't have any frame of reference there. So again, and this is more I'm talking about in the marketing, but you're creating an experience here, the experience from A to B. That's a great experience. That's something I can get excited about. And that's the mentality, if you're in the service industry, that you've got to be working toward. That I'm going to show you how it's going to be better. So those are my 3 biggest suggestions Naturally, I have a bunch more, but we're at 10:45, so I don't want to, take up a whole lot of time. Plus, we'd love to have your business to have these types of conversations. So I'm just going to go backwards here. You may remember I talked about engaging with live customer service and how important that is. I'm not saying we have the only solution, but we do have a solution for that. It's something we call Better Chat Instant Messaging. So if you've ever gone, this is very easy. I don't even have to show an example here. If you've ever gone to a car dealer's website, you spend about 2 seconds to 5 seconds on the site. In the corner, whoop, comes a little chat window with a little person smiling, asking to help you. We have the exact same service. But I think it's very important because, again, people are going to be looking to do business with you instantly. They want to be dealing with somebody. So let's do the math. Imagine you had a rotating one-person staff customer service department. It's working 24 hours a day, every day of the month. You pay minimum wage, $11.10 an hour. That's an investment of just under $8,000 for somebody to be dealing with people who come to your website from many various ways. So what if we told you we have a customer service solution that's 24 hours a day, every day of the month, but you're only paying 4 cents an hour instead of $11.10 an hour? It's an investment of $300 a month for 24-hour customer service. Oh, by the way, never calls in sick, never takes vacation, never late for work. Would you be interested in learning more? Through our Better Chat Instant Messaging, you're never going to miss a customer, whether they come to you through search engine, a digital display campaign, through social media, or referral, which could be your link exists, somebody, they click on the link and then they get to your website. Somebody direct traffic, no matter how they get there, the instant messaging is available there for them to immediately start communicating with. The ability then to communicate in real time also increases customer review volume and can increase the website's SEO. SEO is very important to any website because everybody wants on that first page. Having a solution such as being able to immediately interact with your customers visited your website, search engines love that. They love that because they want to send people to places where they know they're going to get service. Google doesn't want to send somebody into an empty showroom when there's nothing to see. Okay, they want to show them where they're going to get interaction. That's what Google cares about. So what does it bring you? Well, first of all, peace of mind. Obviously, you can't manage or handle every single visitor who comes to your website. You can't manage every single customer interaction that you can have. But at least you know with the instant chat, the peace of mind, it's there, it's going to work for you. I'm not here to say every person who goes to your website is going to use it, but those who do use it are very engaged customers with your business. You want to turn that lead into a sale. The efficiency of cost, it's all one tool. So a little chat widget, there's a performance dashboard with it. You're going to know when you wake up in the morning, you can see how many people interacted with your business, and you're going to know what they're interested in, when they can pick it up. You're going to have a lot of information that is already at your fingertips, so you can immediately call, follow up with that person and say, I have exactly what you're looking for. When would you like to pick it up? And shut up. I think one of the problems that people have when it comes to dealing with people online is they try to resell the product or the service. Well, through the instant chat, it's set up so you get all that information. You get their contact information, who they are, what it is they're looking for, a lot of information that you can bake into it. Not too many questions where they go, okay, I'm tired of dealing with this. Just a very few questions to get who they are, what is it they want, when can you follow up with them? You follow up with them, you know what they want. I've got it here available for you. You can pick it up, anytime that you want. Is there anything else you have in mind that we can add to your order? And shut up. Don't overtalk it. Removes barriers of communications from customers. Again, everybody is used to everything happening instantly now. I want what I want and I want it now. Well, now I can start at least communication with the local business through the chat tool. Okay, I'm at least getting the instant gratification of communicating and letting you know what I'm interested in buying from your business. okay? That will satisfy me if I know you're going to follow up with me tomorrow morning or whenever I tell you to contact me. And it's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week lead generator. Now, let's say your business is open. People are still going to be coming to your website, and you can still yourself deal with them. You don't have to leave it to the robotics. You can deal with them with yourself. There's a furniture store up in northern New York that just loves this. More and more and more, they're dealing with their customers through the chat in real time and booking business with it. Did you know consistently one of Amazon.com's highest daily sales hours is 3 a.m.? They do a lot of business at 3 a.m. The reason why? People can't sleep. I just learned the other day, my brother's got a fantastic job during the day, can't sleep at night, so he just took a job at FedEx, whatever. But the whole point is that, you know, at 3 a.m., that's the whole point. People will do business when they want to do business, but they want to have the ability to at least start the buying process. They can't do that at a destination where nothing's taking place. Oops, skipped one. Streaming audio and video advertising. We're really excited about this. In fact, I see one of the people on the call right now sells a lot of it. You know, we're an ad agency. What we strongly recommend and been recommending before the pandemic, and we've been selling this all throughout the country, is buying advertising through audio and video streaming. It is unbelievably inexpensive. You can target listeners. Two of the biggest digital audio platforms. We sell onto Spotify, which is the largest music platform that there is. A lot of people ask if it's Pandora. Pandora doesn't come close to Spotify. And also local streaming radio stations. So radio stations in Buffalo, radio stations in Rochester. We put advertising on their streaming signals. But also, and this is important, out of market stations. So an example here is, let's say, and we see this a lot, we put advertising on a lot of streaming radio for radio stations in Boston and Philadelphia and obviously New York City, okay? The rate doesn't change. The rate stays the same. But what's happened is a lot of people who've moved from Boston, moved from Philadelphia, moved from New York City or wherever, Chicago, Pittsburgh, doesn't matter. They've kept their radio listening habits. They still want to listen to what is their hometown radio station, especially when it comes to men and sports talk. Well, because they're in our local area and because we target the local area, we're able to then sell them advertising on all those stations. The station is actually irrelevant to us. All we care about is they're listening to streaming entertainment and that they're in the geography area that you tell us to target. You want to target Rochester, we can do it. You want to target people in Buffalo, we can do it. You want to target the Glow region, we can do it. You want to just target Wyoming County, we can do it. You want to target all that area, we can do it. In our cases, you want to target Washington, D.C., we've done it. Chicago, we've done it. Kansas City, we've done it, okay? It doesn't matter to us. But look at these prices. See, here's the thing. The business has moved away from what you've known as TV and radio over to streaming, but you're not really losing anything here. And you're getting all this market share for an unbelievably low price. So you wanted 5,000 spots in any of the areas you want, we suggest, whatever the case may be, that's just $250. You want 10,000 spots, 10,000 ads, whether it be 15, 30 seconds, sometimes even 60 seconds, that's just $500. Quickly do the math. We're selling audio and video commercials for a nickel an ad. A nickel. I right now, you can follow up with us. You can say, I'm taking Michael Messerly's suggestion. I will buy you, I'll put 2 quarters down and buy your first, you know, what is that, 20 ads for you. More than happy to do it. That's how inexpensive it is. And it also comes with a banner campaign. So when people are listening to the ad, the banner shows up on the device so that there's this double going, you know, this double sensory going on here. Not only am I hearing the ad, I'm also seeing the ad at the same time. That is a fantastic opportunity that we have available, and it's very, very popular. But as I said, we can do the exact same thing with video. Downtown Digital Group inventory targets, you know, smart TVs. The video advertising runs across a site list or channel list of over 1,100 channels. I mean, all over the board, Fox News, the whole Roku network, whatever it is. The advertising runs across the following devices: smart TVs, Samsung, LG, Sony, Vizio. So everybody who's running the internet through their television, we can put video ads there, 15 seconds, 30-second video ads. Set-top boxes, so your Apple TV, your Roku, Chromecast, Amazon Fire, anything else, doesn't matter to us. We can run ads on that. Game consoles, Xbox, PlayStation, doesn't matter to us. People watch programming through their game systems. We can run ads on them. What's it cost? It's got to be more than it's got to be more than a nickel, right? No, it's a nickel. Nickel a spot, 15, 30-second ad. We can even do the production for you. We won't charge you for the production. So I know a lot of the thinking is that radio and television be expensive. Jamie Kutermis is on the call. We were dealing with a client that was going to spend, I'm not going to say anything, they were going to spend $7,000 on, I think it was like 165 ads. You want 165 ads, we could do that in, what is that, with my poor math skills here. I don't know, that's like really cheap for us. I'm too busy giving this presentation to come up with the math. But I mean, heck with that, for $250, we'll give you 5,000 spots wherever you want them to play. No problem. $500, we'll give you 10,000 spots. 165 for 7,000, that's not going to cut it anymore. So I hope I've been helpful. I just want to finish with this because I'm a giver. I like to give. Downtown Digital Group, we have what running right now through the end of May. You can call us the last day of May, you'll still qualify, but it's a hand up marketing grant. Go to thedailynewsonline.com/hand up. So basically what we're doing is a matching grant program. Very simple, easy application to fill out. And you tell us how much that you're looking to invest in advertising, and we will match that. So already we've had over $57,000 local businesses taking advantage of this. And look, we'd love to add more to it. So, I'm not going to put on my readers here because you all make fun of me because they're bright red. But, basically we put this together because we knew businesses, don't want a handout, they want a hand up. And that's the whole idea behind the program here. So if you, it's a matching grant program, the limit's at $5,000, but it could be low as $250. It's whatever fits your budget. But we will grant that, and just go to thedailynewsonline.com/hand up. And we'd love to help you out. We'd love to help your business. I hope this has been helpful for you today. There's a lot happening, a lot going on, but I think, especially when you look at what's happening with advertising and video and audio, there's a lot of opportunity that maybe you didn't know existed before, and it's amazing how affordable it is. So, we have those opportunities. The customer service, I go back to my first 3 steps. You got to think of your business differently. You need to expand your hours. You need to expand your size. That's your website. That's your Facebook page. And then you got to be available. Your business has to be working 24 hours. You got to have interactions. We would love to help you with that. Obviously, we're not the only ones who can do that, but for the most part, this is what has to change. Nothing about this is really new, but I think what a lot of businesses do is, yeah, someday we'll get there. We know it's coming. We'll get there when we have to get there, but for right now, we're there. Not only are we there, there's no turning back. So the time is now. I hope what I've brought to you is important, because you can absolutely compete. The most expensive thing you can do, the most expensive thing a business has is customer acquisition. That's really what you're spending money on. You're trying to acquire customers through your marketing efforts. Okay, it's very expensive to do. But now the challenge is there. You've got to be proactive. You just have to be, because the habits are set. It'll be 68 days on May 29th. We got to break those habits. We got to get in the stores. We got to break up the comfort level that they have. And we're here to help you. I'm more than happy to do it. And I hope my presentation today was also a help. So Scott, I'm going to turn it over to you, my friend.
Thank you, Michael. I actually enjoyed it once I turned my speaker back on. So that was good. Yeah, there's a little computer problem there. We're at an hour. I've got still some people and see if there's any questions. I know you're here to answer any that may come up. People can raise their hand or they can write it in the chat box if they'd like to. Why don't you also, while we're waiting to see if anybody does, give a phone number where people could call if they want to, or repeat an email or a website?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I lost my ad director, but I do see I have Jamie, who is one of our representatives. Jamie, I guess this is a golden opportunity for you to share your phone number.
I need to unmute you. I think
I had unmute myself.
Oh, you're good.
Okay, so you actually can contact me directly on my cell phone, and it's 585-944-7402. I'm available at any time of the day, as well as my email is jqtermis@batavianews.com.
Hey,
so
Jamie,
it's pretty lengthy.
Jamie, could you say your number one more time and then I'll put it here in the chat?
Yep, it's 585-944-7402.
Okay.
Great.
So if anyone's interested, I put that in the chat. That's the way to get hold of Jamie. But then Jamie's a great example here. She's a sales rep, but I'm here to tell you she has her own Facebook page dedicated to her sales efforts. But Jamie will do business at any time. She's not kidding there. She's not afraid to put her number out there. She's not afraid to put her Facebook page out there. Leads are leads are leads. And, you know, Jamie, I think you'll talk and you'll handle a lead anytime you get it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm not going to promote my wife's business. I think that'd be unethical for me to do. But I can tell you that at any time we get leads, and it could be 10 o'clock at night. It could be 7 in the morning. It doesn't matter. We could be sitting watching, you know, Dead to Me as an example on Netflix, and the lead comes in. We work that lead immediately. And usually we get a lot of leads through instant messaging, and we don't waste a moment. If I have a lead and it's a live person, I'm immediately interacting with that person. I'm not going to give them a chance to go shop somewhere else. You've come to me and we're going to service the business. We're going to try and capture the business right away. I don't want them checking out other competition. I want to secure that business. I don't care when it comes in. I don't care how it comes in. I'm closing that lead.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mike. Are there any questions? Does anybody have any that they wanted to ask? He knows a lot about a lot of things, so you could ask him probably almost anything.
At least I think I do. Yeah. I really, of everything that I've talked about, I really am a big believer though in the instant messaging, in the fact that, like I said, Amazon, one of their top sales hours is 3 in the morning. People are constantly, you don't even know it, they're shopping you, and so many people are doing it at all times of the day. Again, it's on their timeline, not your timeline. So you've got to have that ability there to certainly have some sort of interaction. And they understand, they get they're talking to a robot, but what they also get is the fact that they're sharing information with the expectation you're going to follow up with them. And people are perfectly okay with that. What they're not okay with is, I've walked into your store via your website and nobody's asking me how my day is or what I'm doing or why I'm there. I'm going to shop somewhere else. So we'd love to help you with that.
Okay, well, it doesn't look like, I think you must have, there was a lot of information there. Will you make that, would you make that available if anybody wanted to look at it?
Absolutely. The deck I put?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
What I
Excellent.
will do, Scott, is I will send that directly to you.
Okay, and then I'll have it. And then if anybody wants to take a, ponder some of the information in a little bit more, send me a note and I can forward that back out.
I will because I appreciate you doing this, Scott. I always appreciate. I will make a special offer in that, instead of, I will take 20% off on the radio. So now people are like, oh, wow, he's going down from a nickel to 4 cents. Okay, but if you add that up, it really, our minimum is $250, but for that $250 investment, we'll only charge 4 cents a spot. Now, off the top of my head, let's just go from a CPM basis. I'll drop that, let's say for, $50 for 1,000 ads. I'll make that $40 for 1,000 ads. Contact Jamie Kutermis. She'll take care of you. Just say, I was on the call with Michael and Scott, and I want to talk about the radio. We'll get you 1,000 ads for $40. I'm totally okay with that.
Great. Thank you. And this will also be available on YouTube, and we'll share it with anybody that wants to see it too. We've been recording it. So if there aren't any other questions, and the information about the grant, the website for that will be at the end of the slides too, right? So.
Yeah, that's correct. But again, it's just, you can go to the daily news, and at the end of where it's .com, put a slash and hand up. It'll take you directly to the application. We've made the application as simple to fill out as possible, and then we will follow up with you most likely the same day.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, then, thank you on behalf of everybody that was here and the membership for putting together some really interesting, thought-provoking information about how the world is changing rapidly and what we need to be thinking about. There isn't anything else. I think we'll close it up here, and just thanks again.
Scott, thanks for having us. I always appreciate it.
Thank you.